Hello and welcome to our first summer news block. While many are relaxing on vacation, we are not slowing down. In this video, you'll get a summary of everything our teams accomplished in the past month. I'm Elena Yusupova, let's go! We are continuing the process of updating content for Cellframe Net. For example, we added an economics section to the white paper. We are also working on pages for local usage policy and changelog. Several corrections have been made to the bridge website. We fixed an issue due to which the balance of BNB tokens on the site was incorrectly determined. When choosing between the ERC20 or BP20 directions, the text of the progress bar at the last two items has been corrected. And we migrated to the new Sepolia test network. In Explorer, we fixed the drop-down lists on the main page of the site and in the check balance section when selecting networks. We continue to implement the Cellframe voting site. The team added the ability to connect Cellframe dashboard, implemented the backend of the site for receiving voting data. All that remains to start voting is to implement the correct processing of voting transactions, voting create and voting vote in the Cellframe dashboard. The team has made several big changes in dashboard. We have developed a new component for selecting the fee amount when sending a transaction. We finished refactoring the Web3 API. All commands are now working with the new logic, are debugged and ready for action. Cellframe development is very complex, so there are some things happening behind the scenes that are too difficult to fully explain in simple terms. We want to make sure all our products and services are understandable to you, but let's take this example: the implementation of a mathematical algorithm for converting exponential numbers onto ordinary numbers. The algorithm lets you input numbers in a familiar format when creating a transaction. Such details of development often remain behind the scenes. Now let's continue to look at what else has been done in Cellframe dashboard. We implemented a controller that is responsible for optimizing the request queue to reduce the load on the node, added a progress bar when synchronizing the network, made a sidebar for creating a master node, improved the list of orders for the new format for displaying pairs of DEX tokens. Recently, we have been actively working on refining our DEX. The team added another, simpler panel for token transactions. It has a new approach to selecting a pair of tokens and entering data. The previous version of the panel is also available for users, so you can choose the option you like best. Here are the features we've added to the DEX. Basic functionality for displaying data in the new format. Forms for displaying limit and market orders. New mathematics to calculate the number of exchanged tokens and their value. We are preparing a release candidate version of Node 5.3. The team is now conducting tests and polishing all the rough edges. At the beginning of June, we already froze the functionality of the release candidate and stopped accepting new features into the master branch. Now we are completely focused on testing and debugging. We have launched an internal security audit and are carefully checking all aspects of the system for vulnerabilities. Before this, in late May and early June, we were actively improving the functionality of Node 5.3 and did a lot of important things. We introduced a limit on the maximum weight of validator nodes. This is necessary to prevent the monopoly of one node when signing blocks. We also optimized the ban list mechanism based on node address. In a previous news block, I told you that the team was working on an automatic fork prevention mechanism, and now they have already implemented automatic selection of the longest chain, which is the core of the mechanism for automatically preventing forks. Thanks to the team for doing a great job on this important feature. We are focused on ensuring that our network is stable and you are protected from the consequences of any problems that can arise from time to time. In other Node news, we added a new TLV section to the ledger. Now the information in your wallet will look more structured and convenient. It is now possible to specify the name of the token along with the ticker. All related commands have also been updated to process the new section, such as token update, wallet info, text history, ledger info. Let's move on. There is a huge of implemented features and fixed bugs. We also selected some of them for you today. We fixed crashes when using a public certificate, as well as crashes on root nodes associated with supporting the legacy protocol. We resolved an issue where the first transaction was missing when requesting transaction history. We restored the operation of the node dump command on macOS, which returns a list of validator nodes. The team also transferred the CBD to a cluster system, fixed a node crash when increasing the number of validators in the configs, restored transactions with the key TXNUM, fixed an error when signing declared token with a second certificate, fixed a bug with default chaining processing, added an informational message when the ban list is empty, fixed a crash when calling the command to check the status of a DEX order, list of pairs, or RAID history. On the Python side, preparatory work is also underway for the release of Node 5.3. The transfer of the emission center to the release candidate has been completed. Work has been completed on the configurator, a special tool for Node. It is ready for Linux systems. Debugging for Windows and macOS is currently underway. We also added work with placeholders. Now let's move on to what KelVPN teams shared about their progress over the past month. In the process of refactoring the VPN service, they moved the state machine to a separate subclass, which will be followed by tests and debugging. The team says the following changes will result from this migration. Improved stability of the service. Transferring the state machine to a separate subclass makes it easier to find and correct errors, which leads to more stable operation of the service. Code optimization due to the migration will improve performance. Increased efficiency of updates. Thanks to the improved architecture, new functions and fixes will be implemented faster and with less risk to the service. Taking support to a higher level. The development team can now respond faster and better to user problems, as the system becomes simpler and clearer. And a couple of other KelVPN updates. They worked on scaling, checked the changes in monitor resolution on Debian, and will check on Windows in the near future. Fixed display of incorrect information about wallets after updating data, and fixed key reset problems on macOS. Now let's look at some new additions to the Cellframe wiki. A general description of the S-Box consensus has been published. Let me remind you that this is the consensus of the Cellframe blockchain, which we developed specifically for our platform. As a basis, we took Cat chain, but changed it significantly and adapted it to work with post-quantum cryptography. Second, a section describing the Web3 IP interface is now available on our wiki. We recently carried out a large-scale refactoring of this interface and updated the command logic. It is available in the new version of Cellframe dashboard. Third, full descriptions of examples of using L1 and L2 for the Python SDK are now available. Every time we update or expand the functionality of Cellframe Node, we also reflect this in the Python SDK, establishing interaction with the new API from plugins. For ease of development and documentation, we have divided the SDK into 3 levels: Level 0, L0 SDK, Cellframe SDK. The C language is used here. All the main functionality is written and tested in it. Level 1, L1 SDK, Python Cellframe, low-level API. At this level, methods are passed between the Cellframe SDK and the Python SDK. Level 2, L2 SDK, Python helpers, high-level API. At this level, a user-friendly Python way object interface is created. Our overall goal is to implement L1 and L2 Python wrappers for all Cellframe Node functionality. Fourth, A manual for creating your own network parachain in the Cellframe ecosystem has been adapted for Wiki. These instructions will be very useful for developers who are planning to build their project on Cellframe. We are always thinking about expanding the ecosystem and doing everything for the convenience of potential users. The marketing team was also hard at work. During this time, we held 2 partner AMA sessions. The first was with popular cryptocurrency investor Brenda Gentry, aka CryptoMom, and the second was with the influential Turkish community Crypto Eagles. On the streams, we had lively discussions of the future of blockchain and talked about our plans, ideas, and updates to Cellframe. On May 30, we held our traditional AMA session with Dmitry Gerasimov, CEO of Demlabs and head of the Cellframe project. Dmitry answered your questions sent in advance, as well as questions from the broadcast chat. You can watch the recording on our YouTube channel and read the transcript on our website. See all links in the video description. A review video about our trip to the Blockchain Live Forum 2024, which recently took place in Dubai, appeared on the CryptoView channel. If you haven't seen it yet, we highly recommend it, because it contains an interesting interview with the head of Cellframe development, Dmitry Gerasimov. The link to it is also in the description. That's all for this edition of NewsBlock. See you again in July.